A response video to BCJ. Really don't want to do a response video to BCJ, but he's got to keep making videos. Just can't stay the fuck away.
Hello, Gary. I'm going to make another video towards you. This time, I'm going to try to not be so dramatic. I'm not going to try to pwn you, I guess is what I'm trying.
Yeah, whatever. You can pwn me on, you know, you need to say, you need more than virtual reality to accomplish the task, asshole. Look, I'm suing you, you fuck. You go on other fucking videos, you're still talking this trash. You still call me a motherfucking Nazi and an anti-Semite and a fucking liar and all this other crap. Alright? So shut your motherfucking mouth if you want to have a civil conversation. Otherwise, I want to drive my fist right down your fucking goddamn throat. That's what I want to do, okay? What you have committed are what's called fighting words, alright? Go look it up on Google. Put the words fighting words and then your accusations of anti-Semite and Hitler and the rest of this shit in there. Alright? And you'll find out that they're on the motherfucking list. Alright? So fuck you. Why can't you find some other agenda for the next year or so, alright? I'm suing your motherfucking ass the fucking end. Go find some other agenda. Stay the fuck out of my face. I never came near you. I never posted one fucking comment about you. I never did a goddamn thing to you. And you had to get in my fucking face. Get the fuck out of it.
You see, you say people need to stay in virtual reality, that people are evil, people are greedy, people are scum, they're just, you know, they're just people out there that are just going to abuse the system, and we're going to be right back where we are today.
Yeah, well, why don't you deal with that real issue? I mean, why don't you deal with it? So why not, you know, instead of coming up with this anti-virtual reality argument, why don't you come up with the pro-something else argument? Put on your little Buck Rogers hat and imagine 100 years or 500 years from now and try to explain how when people have, you know, very powerful devices at their disposal, not just a blue ray laser that could blind people, you know, somebody could just manipulate that laser a little bit, go down the street and just wipe out people's eyesight at random. So everybody, you should wear your sunglasses outside, even though I don't. You probably should, because the next some crazy fuck's gonna figure it out. But anyway, you know, why don't you explain how technology and human nature are going to somehow find symmetry or synergy, and everything's going to be just fine, and we're all going to fly around in our light cruisers without planet Earth getting blown into a million fucking little pieces.
You know, I agree with you on the greedy part. We got a lot of greedy motherfuckers on this planet. Okay? Now, here's the thing, Gary. How do you think those people are going to sustain themselves? You know, they need food, they need water.
They're not going to be sustaining themselves, obviously. They're in virtual reality, you dumb fucker. I'll leave out the dumb fuckers. But you're such a pompous, arrogant asshole. You deserve that kind of attitude. I mean, you can't just bring an argument. You can just speak a little bit fucking faster. I mean, it really is tedious to, you know, wade on this fucking inane arguments of yours. But anyway, look, you know, our brain feeds on blood, right? Food doesn't, you know, we don't eat a hamburger and the hamburger goes to our brain. That's not how it works, right? It feeds on blood. So obviously all we have to do is nurture the brain. Okay, that's the ball game. You know, in virtual reality, ultimately. Okay, so we could even be decapitated theoretically and kept alive. And it'll all be just about having the right nutrients and the right fucking chemistry. That's all it is. We're just chemistry, asshole. All nature, everything, it's chemistry. There is no real difference. It's an arbitrary difference. We made it different. We said there's a difference between biology and chemistry and physics. We set up those lines. But it's all the same fucking science, okay? And that's all we are. We're just chemistry. Alright? So you have a machine that makes the chemistry, you pump it into the freaking human beings, into the vessels that hold the consciousness. The end. Not that fucking complicated.
You know, they're not going to be able to live off virtual food or virtual water. They need real food and water to stay alive in those little virtual reality pods. You see what I mean?
Yeah, no, I don't see what you mean, right? I mean, it's just such a stupid argument, and it's been done before. I've been there, done there. So if you're going to make an argument, you should at least listen to the previous videos. All right. I mean, all we're gonna need is the supplement. All right. We can farm it, and we don't have to farm it the way we traditionally farm. We can do it with the algae thing. There's lots of ways to create the nutrients that a human being needs, the chemistry. All right. And certainly with progress, with technology, with science, we will find more and more efficient ways to do that.
So somebody from the outside is going to have to be able to constantly provide food and water.
Why would it have to be somebody? You know, why can't it just be people virtually in virtual reality who control drone robots outside? We're already fighting wars with drones. There's people flying airplanes right the fuck now in Iraq, and they're flying them from the middle of the United States. The pilot is sitting on the ground in the underground in the United States flying the fucking airplane. All right, so virtual reality would take complete advantage of that technology. We could run a bunch of RD-T2s and whatever, CPO4s and whatever. It could all do all the fucking little bullshit work outside of virtual reality that needs to be fucking done. No big deal. I mean, use your imagination, damn it. I mean, you just want to be a naysayer. You're just a nitpicker. So you come up with these stupid little simplistic arguments and say, oh yeah, can't happen. I mean, you're just like, when we're going to go fly to the moon, there was people making idiotic arguments like, you can't poke a hole in the atmosphere, all the air will blow out. And you can't go to the moon, it's made out of cheese. The goddamn thing will sink in the cheese. I mean, there's all kinds of idiotic bullshit, naysaying, nonsense arguments, but science was able to deal with them.
And I'm just assuming that this could actually be possible in the future. I don't think it will, or at least not in our lifetimes. I don't think we can have a Matrix-like world, at least in our lifetime.
Yeah, well, whatever. I've never used the Matrix as an example. I mean, it's the anti-example. I mean, the only part that's relevant is the part of the stasis part, but the software is bullshit, so fuck the Matrix.
I don't think we have the technology to accomplish it, but, I'll just go ahead and go along with it. Let's say we do. Let's say we can actually achieve it.
Yeah, so you don't think in 100 years we'll have the technology, or 500 years, or 1,000 years, or 2,000? I mean, theoretically, we can be here a long time if we don't blow ourselves up, and that's the fucking issue, isn't it? We're gonna blow ourselves up before anything gets to happen. There's not gonna be a fucking future unless we find some way to deal with the problems that I say virtual reality solves.
Yes. But you see, these things are going to require energy. They're going to require electricity to power them up. Electricity doesn't just get created out of thin air, my friend.
Oh, well, look, my friend, the only thing that's going to be needed is that, a minor amount of energy will have to go into the, sustenance, doing the chemistry thing. But the amount of electricity it will take to entertain the brain, the virtual reality itself, I mean, you're talking about less than a battery a day. I mean, it's a goddamn iPod. All right, that's all it's going to take. It's software, fucker. It's integrated circuits.
You gotta have power grids, and I'm guessing that something like this will require a massive amount of power.
Yeah, you can keep saying it, right? I'm guessing. Well, what did you base the guess on? Bullshit, complete nonsense. I mean, we got little digital LCD wristwatchy things that do incredible processing, all right, and they work on a little tiny lithium battery. So what's your bullshit that lasts a fucking year? So it's a lame argument. It's nonsense. We can make it less energy by hundreds of times than what it takes to build this real world we're living in. Probably with the amount of energy it's going to take to heat this house this winter would be the amount of energy it would take to maintain a human being for a fucking year in virtual reality.
Need somebody to build those power grids, and most definitely you need somebody to maintenance those power grids, especially where I live.
Oh, this is just too boring, so we're gonna have to skip over this shit.
They need basic necessities.
Well, whatever. I've already dealt with this argument. Okay, you wouldn't have to have people outside. You could just have robots outside, controlled from within.
The food, the clothing, and the shelter. And then there's
Yeah, why would you have to have any of that shit realistically? If, I mean, people were moving from reality to virtual reality, there'd be a whole lot of homes and this and clothes and all this other shit. There'd be a ton of it left over out in the outside world, you dumb ass. I've already said 6 million times, but I'll say it one more time. If you're going to leave 6.5 people in the real world, then fuck virtual reality. I'm not advocating it then, okay? It's not a proposal I endorse. If you're not moving the substance of the human population into virtual reality, I'm not for it, okay? So argue that argument with somebody else. It's just a straw man to argue it with me, because it's bullshit.
in the outside world anyways, just to, keep you in your little virtual world.
Yeah, well, again, I'll just make the argument one more time. The technology required to take the drone technology we have now, the automation technology we have now, and expand it to the point where we could virtually control, like we're doing with airplanes right now, is minor. It's minute compared to the technology that's going to be required to get inside of our fucking brain. All right, so it's a ludicrous argument. I mean, if you can build virtual reality, you can build virtually controllable automated machines. So it's a stupid argument. There will not need to be any people on the outside whatsoever. There'll be fully functional mechanical devices that can be controlled from virtual reality and do anything a human can do, except reproduce and eat hamburgers.